Damian James and Estelle Griffith, all of you, let's fight. Great to be on with you this evening, guys. Whether you're joining us on Twitter, you're joining us on Facebook, the Meta app, the Blue app. Whether you're joining us on YouTube, guys, welcome in the ring. Let's fight. Let's fight. The early folks was Estelle Griffith. We see Estelle joining us on YouTube, and also Damian James. We see joining us on YouTube. They are patiently sitting and waiting the start of the program. Guys, as you come into the live stream, share the live stream, guys. We got two guests tonight, and we're going to hasten through the hot topics to get to them. We are privileged to be with you wherever you're joining us from. Some of you are in Guyana, some of you are in Barbados, some of you are in Trinidad, some of you are in Jamaica, Suriname, Venezuela, the US of A, Canada, wherever you guys are joining us from, Japan, Germany, welcome in the ring. Let's fight. We trust that you guys have had a good day, that you guys have had a fantastic day. And you all know when we come in the ring, we always say, guys, share the live stream. You got to do what you got to do, folks. Don't let's get complacent. Share the live stream. We want to see those emojis. We want to see those, whatever your feeling is out there tonight, the hearts. We want to see the angry face. We want to see the hugging arms. We want to see the likes. Smash that emoji button for us. If you guys are joining us on Twitter, make sure you follow us on that Twitter page there, and ensure that you retweet the broadcast as well. Retweet the broadcast. If you guys are joining us on YouTube, ensure that you follow our page there on YouTube as well, our channel on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. And if you guys are following us on one of the Facebook pages, whether it's my Facebook page or Cheryl Avery Duncan on Facebook, ensure you follow that page. Some of you can be joining us on Christopher Jones' page. Come on, guys. You got to follow that page as well and share the live stream. Come on, fans and followers of Christopher Jones. Follow that page. Share that live stream as well on Christopher Jones' page. Some of you joining me on the App New AFC page. You got to follow that page too. Follow that page and share the live stream on the App New AFC page. Some of you joining us on the Alliance for Change page. You got to share that page too. Share the page and follow the page. Share and follow on Facebook. Share and follow. Great to have so many of you, Leslyn Alves and Joylyn Cook, joining us this evening. Irwin Don Cook as well is in the house. All of the cooks are here. Great to see so many of you with us. Chisong Henry, Desmond Harris, Diane Gravesend, Stacey Brafford Stacey, Babita Kisoon. Good to see you as well. Kim Williams King, Melanda McKenzie, Oswina Tappin. Great to see each and every one of you. Guys, we can't do this thing without you. We cannot, and that is why we encourage you guys to partner with us. And the Cash App is $, in the ring 592. At PayPal is in the ring 592 at gmail.com. On the MMG system, 627-6963. We're also available on the Western Union platform, via Western Union, via MoneyGram. Guys, help us to keep growing. Help us to keep expanding. We need your help. We need your help. We need your help, Diane Gravesand. We need your help, Babita. We need your help, Melanda McKenzie. We need your help, Marcia Griffith. Find a way, guys, to help support us. Linda Jacobson, Jenny Wilson, Ibon Lamy. Great to see each and every one of you guys. What is most important this evening is that you guys share the live stream wherever you are joining me from. It is so great to see each and every one of you. We trust that you guys have had a great, big, beautiful, fantastic day. Shawnette Barnes and Sandrine Beard, Paulette Graves, Donna McDonald, Rosie Capel, Martha Harris. IQ, it's true. Send us a photograph. 627-6963. Let us be the judge of that. Samantha Jilks, good to see you. Phil Bunn, good to see you as well. Donna Liverpool, great to see you guys. Warnella Garnett, good to see you, Warnella. Guys, we're gonna give you guys a shout out towards the end of the program, and ensure that you come on board and you partner with us. You all know this program is powered by you guys. You guys help us to keep the lights on. You guys help us to pay for the extended space that we have now. We need each and every one of you to come on board and to partner with us. You guys make the program what it is. And we're so privileged that all of you guys are in the ring. We got coming up, guys. We got coming up. In addition to you guys partnering with us, we got the one and only Rickford Burke is going to be joining us. And Darren Wade, attorney at law, was supposed to be with us last evening. He's going to be in the ring this evening with us, guys. And we're so happy that all of you are here with us. You make the program matter. Marcel Hopan, Dolores Denny, Shanna Young-Waite, and Janet Edwards, Roxanne Odessa Jacobs. You folks make the program what it is. Valmay Wilson and Alexis Arthur, Glennis Mingo Bourne, Seymour George, joining us from Jamaica, guys. Wherever around the world you guys are joining us from, thanks for coming in the ring, guys. Let's fight. We got to keep fighting. We can't give up. We trust that you guys have had a good day at work, at home, whatever you did, whatever constituted your day. We hope that you did that with integrity and that you did it well. Anything worth doing, guys, is worth doing well. And we're so grateful for all of you joining us in the ring tonight. Let's get to the fight card. We are fired up, guys. We are ready to go. We are ready to get the information to you that matters. And let me make sure I take some of this off of my shoulder if I can. Shondell Moses, good to see you there. Chisung Henry and Gwyneth Jones. Is it Audrey Brown? I see Audrey Brown there. I see Candy Naleen Indigit, and once Candy's here, Marty Mark is not too far behind. Carla Washington. All you fantastic folks, we want you to share the live stream tonight, guys. I'm so animated. Don't let anybody steal your joy, especially these hypocrites, especially these hypocrites, these vagabonds. Don't let anybody steal your joy. You gotta keeping on. Valmay Wilson, good to see you as well. Rochelle Johnson, good to see you. Roy Porter, how you doing, my brother? Respect and manners. Mavis Henry, how you doing as well? Leon Logan, great to see all you. Beautiful, handsome, nice, fabulous, fantabulous folks. Welcome in the ring. Let's head to the fight card. Photo of the day, guys. That's where we begin with. Photo of the day. And we like to find, when we see certain photographs, we think would interest you. We said, this has to be the photograph of the day. This has to be the photo of the day. And this is how this one appealed to us. Because somebody following the notes, you got a team leader. You got members of the team doing stuff, but we start with Catfish. We start with Catfish himself. And this is one of the photographs we saw on social media today. Now, when we saw this photograph, we said this is a mime or a meme, depends on how you pronounce the word. M-E-M-E, some people say meme. Mime, meme. When we saw it, we thought it was a mime. That's what we thought it was, folks. But when we got to the source of it, the credible sources. We love credible sources. When we got to the credible source, we realized this is a picture on the Ministry of the Presidency page, Office of the President, that says finish the road on budget and on time. But like, Irfan didn't get the notes. Irfan didn't get the notes from the Fisher Bishop. He didn't get the notes because he's not paying attention in class. That's why in second year he dropped out of UG. That's why he ended up at this IFLOT University over the river. He's not paying attention in class because had he been paying attention, he would have known 2 days ago as concerns the Mandela Avenue / what they call Sheriff Street Road project, right? They huffed and puffed in the same way. The Fisher Bishop told us 2 days ago, that the Sheriff Mandela Street Road project was extended until February of next year. So while Catfish huffing and puffing, the team members doing their own thing. The Sheriff Mandela Street Road project has been extended until February next year. Yesterday, the Fisher Bishop came back and he told us not only had the project been extended, that more money is needed to complete the project. So when Irfan come out here, let's see this photograph big again. When Catfish come out here and he's huffing and puffing that roads must be finished on budget and on time, clearly he is not following his own administration's work. Clearly. So God knows what he is doing. These guys aren't ready for prime time, This was on the Ministry of the Presidency, the Office of the President's Facebook page. What is happening? And on his page, also on Irfan's page. So Irfan, if you're watching tonight, with your little popcorn and your cokes. Call the Fisher Bishop. Right? Call the Fisher Bishop. Something is happening here. Something wrong. Nothing irregular. You saying finish the roads on budget and on time, and the roads are not being finished on time and on budget. So call the Fisher Bishop. Something is wrong here. And folks, that is the photo of the day. That's the photo of the day. We heading on. Guys, you got to make sure you share the live stream. You got to ensure you smash that emoji. You got to ensure if you're joining us on Twitter, you're retweeting, you're following the Twitter page. You got to ensure if you guys are joining us on YouTube, that you guys are subscribing to the YouTube channel as well. And very soon on our website, Credible Sources, you guys are going to be able to see the program live on the website as well. And we hope you guys have been following our articles in Credible Sources, our website. We soft launch it. We didn't come make a whole set of nights. We just want to get on with the business of what we do here. Moving on, folks. Moving on in the fight card. We saw this story and we were so heartened by it. Folks, let me tell y'all something. Jermaine Osborne, Volmay Wilson, Alia Waldron. Let me tell y'all something. Paulette Hawk, Kippins, and Richard Fordyce, Mark James. When the man upstairs, that big man upstairs, the man with the angle, when the man say you must live, you will live. When the man with the angle upstairs say you must live, you will live. And so we're following this story, this beautiful, cute, small story out of Study Hospital concerning this premature baby, right? Now, the health officers there are very, very elated with how this story turned out. This baby was born at 26 weeks, about 6 months. Y'all know we ain't good with maths. 26 weeks, about 6 months old. 6 months premature. And at 920 grams. Kudos to the people at Study Hospital. This baby was born in September and recently left the facility there, doing quite well. And we really want to say kudos to the entire staff there at Study Hospital. Guys, we can give kudos where kudos are deserved. We want to say to the entire staff there at Study, right? Not New Amsterdam. They got to do a lot of work. Study Hospital, kudos to the folks there. Again, the mother is Anicia George, and they are overwhelmed that this baby is pulling through. Born 6 months. At 6 months and at 920 grams, a country little baby. But when the man upstairs, the man with the angle, the big man, when he say you got to live, you're going to live, folks. And that is why we continue to put we trust up there. In these jagabats, no way. We ain't putting we trust in these jagabats. We put in we trust in the man upstairs. And we say again, kudos to the entire staff there at Study Hospital. We like good stories like this. Kudos to all of you guys. Miracle baby goes home from Study Hospital. We love to see stories like this. And we're picking this information up from Starbuck News. It's a beautiful read, folks. We hope that you guys have had a chance to do so. Signs of the times. Signs of the damn times. Once living in this country, you got to look out for the signs of the times. You got to look out for the signs of the times. My wife told me recently she's looking for a big sign on a particular issue. Every day I give her a sign. Honey, if you're watching, signs coming. Signs of the times. Signs of the times. Look what happening here. We told you of this other story about a policeman who all his friends vexed with he because he refused to take a bribe. Folks, y'all know things tight. And so them boys vex. And this was no little money. This was $500,000. 500,000, was it 700,000? Was over $500,000, right? Because these jagabats here, their family went in some trouble. They want the family do the time for the crime, so they proposed to bribe the policeman. Oh, but this policeman was not having it. He stood his ground. You understand me? We might be poor, but we got values. You understand me? Things might be tight, but we got integrity. And so the man held his ground. He held his ground and he said, I ain't going down the road. He said, I ain't signing up for that. I content with my salary. Oh my God, I hope we had 1,000 like him in the Ghana police force. I hope we had 1,000 like him, because the story we're going to end the broadcast with would have ended differently. So stay to the end, folks. If we had 1,000 like this fella here, he's not Jagabat, far from it. Far from it. He's a hero. This is a local hero. If we had 1,000 like him in the police force, the story we're going to share with you at the very, very end of the broadcast would end differently. And so, folks, these guys can do the time. That's why they chose to do the crime, but the fellow resisted them. You understand me? And now these Jagabats here have been charged. Next. Signs of the times, folks. Look what happening in our country. I got a 13-year-old. Look at a young man who is 15 and 17, remanded for robbing a cell phone store. Signs of the times. Folks, some of us give up too easy, you know. Some of us give up too easy. We got to fight for our kids in this country. We got to fight for our family in this country. We give up too goddamn easy. That is the problem with some of us. Again, I say, you might be poor, but you got good values. You're rich in values. You might be poor, but you're rich in integrity. You might be poor, but you're rich in self-worth. And you got to fight for your kids. It is very, very sad when we see you even start living your life yet at 15 and 17. As we say locally, in the local vernacular, your mother milk still in your face at 15 and 17. And now they're being remanded for robbing a cell phone store at 15 and at 17. Imagine if they start so young, when they're 30 and 34. How are they going to be? How hardened are they going to be? And so we don't only want to see them remanded, but we hope they get some meaningful intervention to come back on the straight and the narrow. Signs of the times, folks. Signs of the times. Things tight. We can't lie to y'all. We not gonna get excited with any 19.4 economic growth, and we feel in our pocket. Things tight. Clive Jackson, Diane Britton, and Laverne Joseph, Leon Logan. Things tight. Edward Wade. Things tight. Laverne Wade, Angel Wade, Atala Wade, Duncan. Things tight. And that is why we're seeing a whole host of strange things in the country happening. Guys, we hope you take the opportunity and share what you're seeing here, because some people, y'all neighbors in them streets, y'all living in the villages, sometimes don't believe, because they're watching all the propaganda. The very few who watching DPI and NCN, believing the propaganda. But in other news, things tight. Look at this other fella here. The manager of this gold establishment, the silver mining, he just cut off with $20 million. Things tight. GCCI, the Georgetown Chambers of Commerce, told us recently, brace for shortages. For Christmas and in the New Year, brace. Things are going to get tough. Well, this manager took them literally, and he has carted off with $20 million in gold from the silver minings. Things tight. Things tight, so the man help himself. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. So as we get more information on this story, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep you guys updated. But things tight. That's all we can tell you. For those of you who are now joining us, coming up, we got Darren Wade is going to be joining us. Darren Wade is going to be joining us. And also the one and only Rickford Burke is going to be joining us as things tight. So people are doing strange things. And that again was the case of this Jagabat here. You're gone and you're working with the people. And now you can catch off with the money. You see what we said? You could be poor, folks, economically, but you're rich in spirituality, you're rich in values, you're rich in character. Things tight. The man helped himself in this case. Coming up, we said, is Darren Wade. Coming up is Rickford Burke. Moving on in the fight card, folks. We are moving apace in the fight card. In other news, on the fight card, we saw that yet again, this organization which represents Black entrepreneurs in our country met with BG. They met with BG. You know, I want to say a lot of things. I want to say a lot of things, but I'm going to wait for the outcome. I'm going to wait for the outcome. We can wait for the outcome. Again, we saw this local body which represents the interests of black entrepreneurs meeting with Papa Jagabat. But we're going to hold off yet on the commentary. We want to see the outcome. Moving on to the fight card, folks. Moving on to the fight card. Coming soon. Coming soon. Folks, get out your dresses. Get out your high heels. Get out your stilettos. Marlene Van Vliet, get out that freakum dress that Beyonce sang about. That black freakum dress. Coming soon. Glennis Mingo, do up your hair, girls. Stush up. Deshaun Alexander, they can't style a stylist. Denise London Welchman, they can't style you. Folks, y'all better share this live stream. First Lady Aria Ali got a ball coming up. And the cost will make you ball. I want y'all to know, y'all 7% can't get you into this ball. Only the 7% on her husband's salary. Because based on his earning, his 7% is equal to $150,000. So Catfish just raised his salary. So he can go to this ball. The ticket cost $50,000. 50,000 big ones. 50,000 big ones. Folks, y'all sharing this live stream. I hope the international community seeing. Y'all 7%ers, y'all out like South. 7%ers out like South. How y'all making it here? Onika Brahma, Nicole Brandis Higgins. How you going here? How you going here? Rami, Leander, Oren. How y'all going here? Oren Barker, Shanna Young, wait. How y'all going to this ball? Y'all got y'all fancy clothes? Y'all got y'all fancy dress? Oh, Father, things tight, but like it's for some people. I am eager to see the people who are attracted to this 50,000 per ticket ball. Right? Again, I'm saying the Georgetown Chambers of Commerce on the Timothy Tucker. Is it Timothy Tucker? Is the president there? Or is he the private sector chairman? Whoever it be, told us shortage is coming. Them guys got a ball. Imagine that at Castellani House in a COVID environment where the health minister just told us that we got the Delta variant. And just this afternoon, our sister publication, Credible Sources, reported that the Omicron variant has been detected in Brazil. Them guys got a ball at Castellani House. Y'all see what's happening in this country? Listen to me. The economic disparity between the haves and the haves not growing wide every day. Winston Jordan spoke consistently about trickle-down economics not working. But them are like, no, we coming to Winston. We coming down the line to Winston. Them are like them kind of talk. They ain't like truth. They ain't like credible sources and so on. They are allergic to it. You understand me? But we got a balm for them. Right? So those of you who can make it, do what y'all got to do. Right? Some of y'all like the association. So y'all going to fork out your $50,000 and go. Kudos to y'all. Do what you got to do. But my God, how much 7% you got to get in this administration for me to 50,000? Expensive ball. Oh, balls. Expensive balls. Expensive in this place. Albert Morgan, you going to the ball? Sporry Lee, you going to the $50,000 ball? Alexis Arthur, you making this ball, girl? Ovita Blackman, what about you? You gonna make this ball? Ibon Lamy, Satish, Shawnette Barnes, are you gonna make this ball? You know, you might got to dust off them clothes you buy 10 years ago. Because if you got to go and dress for this ball, plus pay for the ball, you're going to be in a lot of debt. You're going to be in a lot of debt for the new year. Things tight, but clearly not for some people. Coming soon. Oh, shit. Look what happened at St. Joseph. St. Rose's, I beg your pardon. My apologies, St. Joseph students. St. Rose's full of shit. St. Rose's full of shit. Literally full of it. And so the PTA in St. Rose's is asking the ministry to go back to virtual learning. 1 year plus, and we can't get it right, you know. The St. Rose's PTA is asking them to go back to virtual learning. You know, we saw some photographs out of news source, Big Uncle Gordon, news media, that suggests lots of the corridors on the ground floor. You see pallets and people wading through shit. Right? Pull up this photograph. Let's see that accumulation of shit behind these students here. Come on, Priya. You see, when we call people wild hog, there's get vexed. But people got to do the work they have been elected to do in this country. Right? When people get called wild hog, they get vexed. Right? But we don't want that. When they get called wild hog, they get vexed. Right? St. Rose is full of shit. We don't know how else to tell you guys. And ensure that you share this live stream. I want the whole world to see what the school system has become under these jagabats. Winston Marshall, y'all see what the school system is under these jagabats? Darren Fordyce, you see what the phone system is under these jagabats here? Florette Jacobs Ward, Sukhchan Sudhari. Oh my God, you could be paying $50,000 to go to ball and you cheering walking through shit in school? Come on, folks. Come on, Sharon Costello Edwards. You could pay $50,000 for a ball and you cheering in shit. Melissa April, what shit happening in this country? Stop it. Stop it. You know they don't like in the ring these jagabats because we talk the truth here. And we don't have time to mince words. We don't have time to be politically correct here. Life's too short. And not with these jagabats. We are not going to pretend to be politically correct. And you know, this, what is happening here at St. Rose's High School is emblematic of this shithole country that is becoming under these guys here. It is emblematic. So they're starting with the children. And y'all can tell people that we care, and y'all got them St. Rose's children walking through filth. For some of you who can't take shit, filth and feces and excrement and defecation, y'all could got them walking through that and y'all could care and buying tickets of $50,000 ball. Your priorities mix up. Right? I lived in a home as a child with parents who fought for me, with a mother who fought for me and told us, your priorities mix up. And that's what happened with this government. Right? You only want a mother like me on. You'll come out straight, so your priorities mix up as a government. Right? But how can we do better? And you got a big catfish there at the top. Valerie, Lila Tom, the priorities mix up. You children can walk in through filth. Oh God, I hope the Trinidadians can see this. I hope the Brazilians can see this, the Venezuelans, the Barbadians, the Jamaicans, and see. Catfish can put on fancy suit. Could be selling COVID medication all over the place to your friends and family, and you got your children walking through that. Y'all is dysfunctional fathers, dysfunctional leaders. You children can live in anyhow, and you got on fancy suit, driving fancy cars, sirens throughout the whole damn city, escorting fancy car and all kind of nonsense, and your children going through nonsense? Come on, Priya. Come on, Priya. But lots of y'all children going private school, so y'all don't know what is happening in the damn public school system. That is the problem with y'all. A lot of y'all children going to private school. Who vex lose? Who vex? I don't talk the things. Moving on. The PPP wicked. And as the St. Rose's issue tell us, the stink and the dirty. The wicked, stink, and dirty. Y'all better share the live stream. Folks, the wicked, I won't call it stink, probably the stink and the dirty. That's who they be, that's who they are. Emblematic of the St. Rose's situation. The wicked, the stink, and the dirty. Well, they're trying with Winston. They're trying with Winston, Jordan, but they ain't gonna get through. You understand me? Father God, scatter the enemy. Scatter them to the four corners of the earth. You ain't gonna get through. They're trying to say that Winston, Jordan, former minister, substantive, he wasn't minister of finance. No, sorry, senior minister with responsibility for finance within the office of the president. He was minister of finance, substantively. Right? And you could only appreciate Winston's work in retrospect, like all good works. You can only appreciate them as time passes. Like with all good works. As time elapses, the fluxion of time. over protracted period. I went to school, the main drop out of UG. I finished communications, I finished law. With the fraction of time, over protracted period, you can appreciate a good work. And so the vex that Winston talking against them, the vex, the mad, the upset, right? That he has been talking about this 7%. Winston told us, Winston Jordan told his nation, he said, by the time you get that, inflation, eat it out. By the time you get that, high prices of goods in the market, don't eat it out. You're going to end up owing the government. The vex. He told us just recently, based on Kaito News reporting, he said it already wiped out the savings from the oil revenue because of the spending spree and the spending wild. They already wiped that out. So don't hold your breath. That is why they tell you things tight and things can get tough and charges coming because the money gone. Them are like that. They're allergic to truth. They're allergic to honesty. They're allergic to integrity. And that is who Winston is. So look what they do today. They detain him. I want the whole world to see the photographs big. They detained him. The man fell ill. They detained him. He fell ill. They had to rush the fella to Pleasance Health Center. He was supposed to be going to Georgetown Hospital. They ended up taking him to the Pleasance Health Center. They checked up on Winston there. He was released from the health center. And then subsequently, Soku, where all the jagabats pile up in the hierarchy in Soku, released him subsequently. They released him because you know why? It's a whole set of trumped up charges. That's what's happening with them. Is a whole host of trumped up charges. Right? And so, from the Pleasance Health Center back to Soku, he was released from there. And we're being made to understand that he is now at a private health facility being monitored. At a private health facility being monitored. That is the information we have at this hour. But we're going to be joined by one of his attorneys, Darren, just shortly for some whatever has happened since then and whatever is ongoing. But also at Soku today was Brian Tiwari. Right? Brian Tiwari's only crime is that Brian Tiwari got land like any Guyanese is entitled to in their country. Like any Guyanese. And they felt he was too close to Apnu AFC. So he was detained by Soku today also for questioning in relation to those lands. Right? Let me show you contrary winds. Now, Ashley Singh had fraud charges laid against him. Right? Never saw a proper day in court. The DPP dropped those charges, no questions asked. No reasons given to the public. Winston Brassington, Mr. Nasil, had fraud charges for improper and illegal divestment of land. Those charges were subsequently dropped by the DPP. Shalimar Ali Haq. No questions asked, no reasons given to the public. You all know about, what's his name? Anil and the law books. You all know about Irfan and the 19 fraud charges. You all know about Kala Singh and she private charges. All of those were dropped. No questions asked, no reasons given to the public. They don't have a shred of evidence. In the case of Winston Jordan, or all of these people they're prosecuting. But you know what? The wicked, the stink, and the dirty. And that is why we are seeing what we are seeing. Folks, the main event. But before that, we got to encourage you guys to share the live stream. Share. Don't only come and view. You get a little laugh and you're gone. You got to be militant. We got to be vigilant. We got to do something with these numbers when the night comes. Share the live stream so the whole world can see how the wicked, the stink, and the dirty. And we want you also, guys, to come on board and partner with us. It costs us something to do this program night after night. It costs us something to keep the internet on. It costs us something to keep the lights on. It costs us something to keep the AC on. It costs us something to be housed where we are. Come on board and partner with us. We got the cash app. Oh, I got to go my name and beg y'all. It's only left to give you a little soap or a little grease or a little butter or something. We got the cash app available, guys. It is in the ring 592. That's the cash app handle. The $ in the ring 592. At PayPal is in the ring 592 at Gmail. at MMG is 6276963. We're also available on the MoneyGram platform and the Western Union platform. So come on board, partner with us, and your dollars are going to be well spent. Don't spend your dollar to people who you're going to be vexed with tomorrow, you know, who are looking after y'all interests. We here with y'all day after day, and now year after year, looking out for your best interest. Partner with us and help this thing to grow. Partner with us. The main event, folks, the one and only, the man himself, attorney at law, Darren Wade. We're privileged to have Darren joining us this evening, who is going to bring us up to date with what's happening with the one and only former Minister of Finance, Winston Jordan. I think that's going to be joining us shortly, guys. Share the live stream. Don't get complacent at all. Darren, a very good evening. Darren's video is giving us some trouble. Let's take it out until we can get Darren back. And clearly, we gotta help Darren too with some input. But we're gonna have Darren with us shortly. Counsel, as soon as you're ready, let us know, and we're gonna patch you back in. We want to know what is happening with Darren. If Rickford rather comes up first, we're gonna have Rickford. Shella Webster, good to see you. Joylyn Cook, good to see you. Volmare Wilson, good to see you. Marlon King, good to see you. Evangeline Reese, good to see you. Sharon Costello Edwards, good to see you guys. Share the live stream. We ain't got time to waste it. We don't have time to waste here. And thank you guys who joined us for our podcast during lunch. Thank you guys who joined us for our podcast below the belt. Guys, we firing shots. It is what it is. Let's see if we have Darren back with us. We want to get on with the program. We want to know what's happening with Winston Jordan this evening. Counsel, are you with us now? Go right ahead if you're with us. Tell us where we are on the Winston Jordan issue.
Good night, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Sherrod, for having me here. Yes, thank you for having me here this evening. Yes.
So what do we know at this hour as concerns
Mr. Jordan was taken into custody. Yes, he was taken into custody in relation to a allegation of misconduct in public office. I must say this to you, Sherrod. Mr. Jordan is an outstanding human being. He's a role model to all of us. He went to some of the best universities in the world. He hasn't flawed. All Jordan did, Sherrod, while he's in office, is serve the people of Guyana and serve them well. The PPP has into office. We have been missing Mr. Jordan. The public servants have been missing Mr. Jordan. As you would have mentioned, the increase, the 7% increase over a 2-year period. When Apnu came into our office, Apnu plus AFC came into office, they give 20-something percent. I will tell you, Sherrod, there's not an iota of evidence. There's nothing there for him to be arrested. At custody.
I agree.
I hear you mention the issue of prosecution. Yes, he's been prosecuted and persecuted. It is total ill treatment. He does not. What transpired today was unnecessary.
We are being made to understand at this end, counsel, that this matter is already before the courts.
Thereafter, he was told there is a civil matter before the court. The state would have instituted some legal proceedings, but now they want to institute criminal proceedings. So there's the civil jurisdiction and the criminal jurisdiction. These not what they're trying to jail you then. So as you would have mentioned, it was concerning some allegation of some improper conduct in relation to the transfer of land to Brian Tiwari. So those are the allegations against him. So they took him to Sparendam police station after he was processed. While he became Well, there the police at Paranam refused to take him because they say this man's unwell. So you need to take this man to the hospital. So they decided they will not take him to the hospital, telling the truth. And they took him to the health center. Whilst he was treated by a nurse who said that his pressure was extremely high. Matter of fact, the nurse started panicking because she said she believed this man is getting a stroke whilst there, and she called for ambulance.
Wow.
Instead of waiting on the ambulance for Mr. Jordan, who the person's medically trained, the police decided to drive him down to Georgetown, which I objected to. Sure, at one point in time, I go in front of the vehicle. They said, this is unacceptable. You cannot treat this man like that.
Yep.
So what happened? They taking him to Soku instead of taking him to a doctor and lose him as if like you take your dog puppy, you take your worries. We don't want this man dead for we and we don't want this man's crankle for we. You take your worries and go with your worries. They refuse to indicate whilst they had a responsibility. They had a responsibility to take him to the hospital, and they refused him to the hospital.
Yep. The police will be under duty of care.
Leave. Ridiculous is transpiring. It is ridiculous what we have been experiencing in this country in the last few months. You know, this is a man who I believe is, as I would have mentioned before, is a role model. The man that would have served his country with distinction. He can't match Mr. Jordan.
Yep.
And I want the people in PPP to understand and for them to know that Mr. Jordan's character will not be impugned by them. It will not be impugned. They will not damage his character.
Yep.
Because there's no evidence. It is ridiculous. He did nothing.
I hear you, Darren.
Vindictiveness.
Yep.
Vindictiveness. So
the wicked, stinking, dirty. Wicked, stinking, dirty. That's how we put it here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a
Darren, you know,
you're find a song.
Darren, we have Rickford coming up. But before I let you go, Darren, I know you have a very, very busy night ahead of you. I know, as an aside, you're also running for office in the PNCR 21st Biannual Delegates Congress. Tell us a little bit about that before you go, in a nutshell.
Well, thank you. And I trust when Rickford comes on, I get some sort of endorsement by the end of the evening. A very popular guy within the PNC in Guyana here. Yes, I've been nominated for vice chairman and for the central executive of the party. I remember a group called me from all the way from Essequibo and said they have been reading about me and seeing me in the news, and they want to nominate me. I tell them, go ahead. And, I know
and you have been working hard, Darren. You have been working hard for the party and working hard for the people of this country. Undoubtedly so.
Yes. And I believe the time is right. I believe the parties across, I think, especially for young people, or to prepare to serve the people of this country. On all of our listeners and all delegates for the Congress to support me, to give me your support, because I'm committed to the party and the development of this country. Sure, probably I will probably come back to the program if you know.
Definitely, Darren. Thanks very much for joining us this evening, and of course, we wish you nothing but the very best in this endeavor. The 21st Biannual Delegates Congress of the PNCR comes up on December 11th. Best wishes, Darren. And folks, we are privileged to be joined by the man himself, the one and only Mr. Rickford Burke. Guys, why don't you share the live stream as Rickford comes on and smash that emoji button. We ain't got time to waste here. We want the world to see what is happening. Let's welcome Rickford this evening, joining us from New York. Rickford, don't even wait for you to ask a question. You just start talking the things, Rickford. Just start talking the things. Don't even wait for you to mention a question. What are your thoughts?
You look very sharp, by the way.
Well, you know, I always follow your lead, Rick. I always follow your lead.
Well, I'm happy to be a role model.
A positive one too.
A positive one too. And of course, I wholeheartedly endorse my friend Darren Wade, counsel for executive member of the PNC. Absolutely, yes, I do.
Fantastic, fantastic. Rickford, what is your reaction to this detention and this try at humiliating Winston Jordan? What are your thoughts?
Well, I've always thought that the PPP and their regime have no respect for Black people. And they are out to criminalize the Black leaders of Guyana. They're out to get political revenge from the fact that some of their ministers or some of the people who served as ministers in the previous government under Barra Jagdeo and under Donald Ramatar were criminals. They committed crimes. The international community has said that they stole or siphoned off over $5 billion from the Guyanese taxpayers. So there are several criminal investigations that were launched under the APNU coalition government for serious crimes. And so because they're back in power now, thanks to David Granger, because they didn't win an election, they're out to have revenge. The PPP has the ice past Black people. Let's put it that way. That's what
the
our Black
wicked
parents would have
and
said.
dirty Rickford. That's who they be.
Yes, the ice past Black people. And I am very concerned that the PPP wants a civil war in Guyana. They want a civil war. They're doing everything to incite a civil war. And the fact that they mistreated Winston Jordan, possibly poisoned him based on information that I'm receiving, and allowed him, even though they know that he was ill, still sent him to Sparta. He wasn't feeling well. They didn't say, okay, let's send him to a hospital, let's get him evaluated. They sent him to Sparta because they want him to sit in a jail somewhere. They're provoking people. And
Correct.
I hope that the international community is taking stock of what we're saying. Because when Black people start to respond, and I question whether Bar Jagdeo, Anil Nandlal, or Finale, and all these people who are working hard to incite a civil war, I wonder if they think they'll survive. If there's a civil
and
war,
Rickford, I dare say when people respond, because their own people don't fell upon them.
Right. And I don't think we should mince words anymore. I don't think, listen, the PPP is demonstrating to us that they hate Black people. They're not willing to coexist in a country with us. And so I think we must seriously start now to examine whether or not we should divide the country. I am saying academically, we should examine the question of whether, since they don't want to live in a country with us, since they don't have any respect for us, they don't think we're legitimate citizens of Guyana, they are conducting a war on Afro-Guyanese. I was just, talking to somebody from that party, and they told me that, well, I don't understand your views because we are working towards a one Guyana. Mm-hmm. And I said, are you delusional? One Guyana cannot be attained with PPP members only and just 10 Black people who support them. Yeah. One Guyana is everybody working in a harmonized way to achieve a mature nation, to build some sort of unified country. That's not what the PPP want. And I want everybody listening to this program to understand what I'm saying. That's not what the PPP wants. First, they have said it. They don't think a Black person should run Guyana. When President David Granger was in power, they said that. Bar Jagdeo almost said that. He said that people must chase him out of their villages, whatever it is. They don't want to cohabitate in a country with us. Mm-hmm. So we must now start to examine whether or not we want them to govern us. Why would we want racists to govern us? People who want to set up an ethnocracy in Guyana. People who want to set up an Indian axis.
And Rickford, you're talking about dividing the country, and you're entitled to your thoughts and your opinions in a democracy. But sad to say, you are not the first, because Ravi Dev, years ago, promulgated that, bust the country in half.
And I'm not saying divide the country because we want to divide the country. I am saying the PPP has divided the country. The PPP has demonstrated that they don't want to govern Guyana. That includes Black people. They don't want to create opportunities for Black people. They don't believe Black contractors must have contracts. They don't believe Black business people must have a flourishing business. They want to take away people's land, take away people's businesses. And I'm saying, if it is, they don't want to cohabitate Guyana with us, and they don't believe that we are legitimate citizens, like they want to make us second-class citizens. They're saying that we shouldn't govern the country. I am saying we should examine whether or not we want East Indian racists in the PPP to govern us. And from an academic standpoint, we must now examine whether we should divide the country and let them govern themselves. It's simple.
Racist like Charles Ramson. Folks, Rickford, hold on. Folks, this is the night you got to share the live stream. We ain't playing tonight. You understand me? Share the live stream, and we want to see those emojis. Rickford, this little cross, Charles Ramson, this little boy, he ain't enough trouble, you know. And just to amplify what you have said there, Rickford, just today, he's a sitting minister installed, albeit on taxpayers' money, which is all the people in this country, taxpayers' money. He on Facebook talking about, look, the nonsense with Winston Jordan, Mingo #2. He's a sitting minister, you know. Sitting minister. So it underscores all that you have said there, Rickford. This is the same fella, the same Jagabat, the same little Jagabat, baby Jagabat, the same little Chihuahua that just recently said Black people ain't got role models. Black people ain't got role models. But look how they're treating our role models. You understand me? So it underscores all you have said, Rickford.
Well, Charles Ramson Jr. is a jackass. And I don't think we should pay him too much attention. First of all, I read a letter in the press that said his grandfather was a finance officer for the PNC. And he was responsible for collecting fees and financial contributions. And that all of that money didn't make its way to the party coffers. And that his father, who he said is his role model, went off to study law. It reminded me of a situation where we had colonial masters pilfer the countries during colonialism, and then they turned and I was criticizing Black people for not having opportunities and not having businesses when they in fact prevented them. So, you know, it's all good, and it's good of him to have his father as a role model, but he should understand that there are people out there who believe that his father went to law school based on the backs and the sweat of PNC members.
Yep. And you know what, Rickford, I'm happy you on tonight. Ronald Waddle was somebody's son and somebody's role model. Kwame Wing was somebody's son and role model, you know. Right? And we can go through the dossier of role models that were killed under the PPP. Or in Boston recently was somebody's role model there in Essequibo. You understand me? But they keep killing our role models, right? Literally and figuratively, right? Chris Jones is somebody's role model. When they carry all them police by Chris' house looking for barber chairs and utter nonsense and humiliate his entire family, they're role models too.
Well, they have been allowed to get away with it for too long. And when people speak out, up to today, I was reviewing a video by Jack Dale for legal purpose. And, he was speaking with such contempt about you and Mark Benchcop and myself, those of us who have been speaking out, speaking with such contempt, like if Barjadeo has the God-given right alone to speak on behalf of Guyanese when he is deemed in certain parts of the Guyanese community as a murderer, because he was president of Guyana. When all of the people that you're talking about most of the people that you're talking about were murdered, and there's never been any justice. It was a genocide. And I'm saying to Afro-Guyanese and East Indians and Amerindians who believe in justice, who believe in democracy, that it is time that we start speaking out and demanding from the international community justice, true democracy. Sarah Lynch can bury her head in the sand, and the Canadian ambassador and the British ambassador and the European Union ambassador, they could those ambassadors from the ABCE countries can bury their heads in the sand. The PPP regime is not a democracy. They're sleeping with them. They're in bed with them. They have ensconced themselves among these racist criminals in the PPP. And they're not saying anything when these people violate human rights, people's rights, and principles of democracy. And I think we will, and even I dare say, even some members of the opposition aren't speaking up enough, aren't doing enough to hold the PPP regime accountable. And with regard to the genocide, we were told that Anil Nanlal was one of the people that was investigated for the Cameroon murder. One of his security guards was also investigated for the Cameroon murder. We heard nothing after that from the police. There must be justice. If Anil Nanlal was involved in the murder of Courtney Cameroon, there must be justice. Whoever murdered these people, there must be justice. And I am never going to stop advocating for justice for murders committed by the PPP, their death squads, or the agents in the police force, or whatever. I think this is a time now for militancy and a revolution in Guyana. We are not going to sit back and allow the PPP to enslave Black people. It's time Black people rise up and fight back. They could say whatever they want to say. They've been writing the Justice Department and writing the State Department and writing the embassy about me. I have free speech, and they could go to hell.
Yeah. Rickford, I want to ask you whether you're attending this ball, because another issue we got to talk about is the growing economic inequality. You had World AIDS Day recently. They talk about the inequities in health, but the economic inequity is the biggest one here, right? Y'all give a measly 7%, and then you telling people you holding ball for $50,000 per ticket. And listen to me, that initiative in and of itself, right, is an important one and a valid one. Don't get me wrong, it's an important one. But when your husband is the head of state and could create policies and not handouts, but long-lasting, deep policies that can go to change the situation of those young women that got those needs, in which they claim they're raising the funds for. It's interesting. After they had the big birthday party in Dubai, they come home and they're raising money. It's quite interesting. Nevertheless, let me say this thing they're raising money for. You got a situation, you got all this money sitting in a bank account. You could be creating policies that affects this issue in a holistic way, but no, you're content with giving people handout. And don't tell me y'all like people in the hinterland. Don't tell me y'all love people in the hinterland more than you love ordinary Guyanese. Because look what happened in Region 9, in that village, where they asked nobody nothing, consulted with no one, but they're moving the Canadian Gold Company, you understand me, to dig out the people's wealth. And the people are rebelling in Region 9. And y'all claim on one hand, y'all love the hinterland, and in the next hand is the wholesome disrespect. The inequities in this country growing wider and wider every day because of these jagabats, Rickford.
Well, I don't think people should support the dinner. That's number one. Number two, I think we should enter a period of non-cooperation with the PPP. Do not cooperate with them. There should be no service commission. I think the members of the Elections Commission from the coalition should resign because of the shenanigans that's going on there. They're doing their level best to get a racist East Indian from the PPP to be installed as the chief elections officer. That's what they're doing. And Claudia Singh is in bed with them. And I think we should break up the Elections Commission.
Deep in bed and under covers.
Exactly, exactly. And there should be no service commission in Guyana. Absolutely none. Bring everything to a halt. Grind government to a halt. Create an international incident. Take the example of the Venezuelans and the people from Belarus and the people from Sudan. Bring this government to its knees. We're talking about racism. Next to the most evil, vile thing of the Holocaust and slavery is racism, because it is racism that initiated those most heinous evil acts. And if we're not careful, and the PPP has shown us their capability of doing this, we will have a Holocaust in Guyana. They did it under Barjack. They murdered over 1,500 people, Black young men. There's never been any justice. They'll do it again. And that's why I'm saying that there should be a period of non-cooperation with the PPP. Do not cooperate with anything they're doing, from the public service to the unions to civil society, and we know that they have their supporters in civil society. And let me mention one, since we're talking about this. The PPP Public-Private Sector Commission issued a statement, Sharon, saying that the police headquarters fire was committed by members of the diaspora, Afro-Guyanese members of the diaspora, mind you, that's what they were talking about. And they said that the diaspora has been committing planning acts of terrorism against Guyana. We saw that the Guyana Fire Service came out after both fires and said that arson was ruled out. Sorry, well, in the case of the Guyana, the police headquarters, they said it was not arson; it was an electrical fire, an overloaded electrical circuit. In Brigdan, a prisoner, they claimed a prisoner
lighted the wire in his sponge
to lighten the entire Brigdan police compound with a fire with a sponge and wire and a lighter. But they have a strategy, if anything happens in the country, to blame the diaspora, because we held that rally that they're very hurt about. So, but I want Guyanese to understand, right, they are so devious, they are so evil, they are so criminal-minded that they are willing to risk their entire reputation to fabricate something to hurt us in the diaspora. They think they can hurt us because a member of the PPP told me that the strategy was to make these claims that we caused the fire so that the Congress members and the senators and the city council members who have joined with us to criticize them for their racism would no longer not want to do that because we be labeled as terrorists.
But Rickford, it's interesting that Robeson Ben, who shouldn't even be there, right, said quite recently that the report concerning the fire at DPP's office, interestingly, and at the Office of Professional Responsibility, the building that houses both entities, the report is finished. But now they finish it and they got to review it. I thought they would have been eager to confirm that it was the diaspora.
Well,
the wicked stinking ducky.
The fire department, my sources have said, and I noticed that HPG Nightly News said that the fire was caused by an overloaded electrical circuit. Now, what we should zero in on, Sharon, is their capability of fabricating criminal allegations against their political enemies or opponents, just for the sake of misusing the police department and the police force and the criminal justice system to criminalize these people. People like that should not be in government. If you are willing to fabricate criminal charges, they're willing to say with a straight face that somebody from the diaspora with a pyrotechnic mind flew to Guyana, went to the police headquarters, the most secure place in Guyana, and burned down a building. If they're willing to say that, just like the Attorney General was willing to say that I left Guyana on this questionable circumstance and I know I owe every Indian businessman in Guyana. That's their contempt for Black people. Contempt for Black people. And the fact that the Private Sector Commission joined them when several members of the Guyana Private Sector Commission, I confirmed today, we released a statement, the FBI right now is investigating 7 members of the Private Sector Commission. One of them is for funding terrorism.
I'm happy you're on that link, Rickford. I'm happy you're on that link because we didn't talk about Gali Khan, who was a big in the election process, an observer
for the Private Sector Commission.
Out of the private sector under Jerry Gavaya. And Jerry Gavaya came out and offered the most lame excuse in why he was harboring in the Private Sector Commission, right? A man who was wanted and who has now been convicted and is in jail in the US.
Right. But that's the Private Sector Commission. Everybody in the Private Sector Commission got skeletons in their closet. I'm getting a list of some of them who have not paid taxes. So these people are tinged with criminality. It's a criminal enterprise in the PPP. It's a criminal enterprise in the Private Sector Commission. And they want to lecture Black people in the diaspora about terrorism. And
role models. Because Gali Khan clearly was their role model there. You understand me? You got Sharon Hicks by the Ministry of Indigenous Affairs, Amrinin Affairs, the police in a sting operation, the police. Rickford,
Is she
Port
still in that
Sharon
position?
next taking bribe, and they still got a legal opinion waiting for. They waiting for legal opinion, and they want to lecture us, right, about role models.
But when
They want to lecture we with role models.
look,
You got people in their government right now breaking up families. You understand me? Sleeping with people's wives and sleeping with people's husbands, and you telling us about role models?
Role
Look,
models.
y'all let me talk the things tonight.
talk the thing, Terry. Talk the
Y'all
thing.
make me talk the things. You understand me? Sleep with man, woman, and child.
Look,
Breaking up families, and y'all talking about role models. Ramson, you should be the last person to talk with role models. When you look around your office and you see who you employing, you understand me? You should be the last person to talk about role models. But we coming to y'all.
All the deportees at the Ministry of Sports and Culture. Everybody Ramson surrounds himself with. The black people that Ramson surround themselves with. And I don't want to bash these guys. They haven't done anything to me. But it's a reality. Most of the people that he surrounds himself with are drug dealers who have been deported. And he wants to talk about role models. Of course, in one aspect, he is right. There's no black role model in the PPP. We know that for sure. There's no black role model in the PPP. So that's what Ramson was right about. And I'm happy that Guyanese basically rose up and challenged him. He has not apologized. He's arrogant.
Yeah, he had the
doesn't want
office
to
window taking
apologize.
a picture and counting how much people outside protesting. The disrespect. You understand me? A Trinidadian minister would have gone home. A Barbadian minister, even on the mayor, would have gone home. And Charles is talking about Mingo number 2. You understand me? Making the light of a man's health condition. And you all a city minister. Get to hell.
And Sharadi would not have been able to go into any community after that.
Exactly. That is what we got to follow what Jagdio said. Chase them out.
Exactly. You know,
Chase them out.
It's important for us to educate the population. People complain that the opposition is not leading them. Well, where are the community leaders? Where are the leaders from the private sector? Somebody just messaged me saying, when you said people breaking up homes, you should check the Ministry of Public Service. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm just telling you what they said. So, but the members of the civil society should be speaking out. Members of the professions should be speaking out. Members of unions should be speaking out. But what PPP has effectively done is intimidate people, use examples like what they've done to Winston Jordan to intimidate people. Let me say, I want to say this. When the PPP does these things like they've done to Winston Jordan, there must be serious consequences. I don't care what it is. There must be serious consequences. They must understand that they're not the only bad people and gangsters in the country. The PPP must understand that. So until somebody can run off the road or something to compensate for the things that they're doing, they're going to keep doing it. And I'm not afraid to say, this is the time when we have to challenge them back. They have
But I ain't afraid to say neither. Who vex?
They have murdered over 1,500 and more black people, and we have been quiet for too long. Yeah. And I want to tell them again, the war that they're inciting, they might not survive it.
Yeah. Well, we hope that a program like this and similar program will rouse the conscience of the nation, as Martin Luther King says, because that is what is needed. Exactly. That kind of militancy and agitation, and we can't let them rest. Exactly. Let us return the favor to the PPP. Yep.
We cannot allow our people to suffer anymore. We cannot allow the PPP to murder black people anymore without consequences. We cannot allow the PPP to harass black people anymore, to persecute black people, to abuse the police force, to persecute black people. And I dare say some East Indians and Amerindians that don't support them. Yeah. They have been abusing the powers of the state for too long. Why are they not allowed to drive up and down and walk around Guyana freely when he's accused of murdering somebody? Why? The police must answer that. And if not, the people must have justice. Why is Jagdeo allowed to go around Guyana freely?
Yeah.
When he presided over government.
Because you have a DPP who drops their charges, no questions asked, no reasons given. Exactly. You have a DPP who drops their charges, no questions asked, no reasons given. That is fact. Rickford, I want to thank you for joining us this evening. We need a little more time on this program, But Rickford, I'm really happy to have you here.
People join me. 10 o'clock New York time, 11 o'clock Guyana time. We can have some fun.
Great. Fantastic. Rickford, thanks for being part of the program this evening, my brother. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Folks, that's our program for this evening. Thank you, Rickford. Thank you, Attorney at Law Darren Wade. Rickford Burke from the CDGID there in New York, the democracy body there that, is so relevant in this time. So relevant, guys. Thanks, both of you. Thank you, those of you who have joined us. We got thousands of people watching us, guys, like Chisung Henry and Loretta Roberts, like Latoya D'Souza, folks like Janet Edwards and Laverne Harry Charan Kelman. Folks, if y'all don't make a comment, we won't see your names and be able to call it. So don't say we miss y'all. We don't see who necessarily viewing the program, but if you make a comment, we see your name go by, like Garcia husband, we mentioned it. Paul Henry, Sandra Hanover, Alicia, is it Elliot? Renisha King, Claudette Harry, Marcel Hamer, Nicole Brandis, good to see you there, Nicole. Candy Naleen Inderji, Deborah Halley, Rashford, good to see all of you people. Paulette Niles, great to see you guys. Ensure you share the live stream. Ensure you partner with us. Onika Glenn, Ovita Blackman, Lalita, ensure you partner with us. George Campbell, ensure you partner with us. Deborah Halley, guys, great having each and every one of you on the program this evening. We're back here tomorrow night. Final program for the weekend. You guys know when the week ended, we don't throttle down. We just gear up. You understand me? So strap yourselves in and come, let me fight. Tomorrow we have our final podcast for the week as well. Below the Belt. Join us at 12 p.m. Join us for your lunch break at work, off of work, at home, at play. Join us at 12 o'clock tomorrow for our podcast. Podcast is where you're seeing the video. You're hearing the voices and you're hearing a whole host of other intermix of medias in the background there, guys. Join us for our podcast during lunch. We'd be happy to have you as our guest during our podcast. We're going to be on there, and then we're going to be back tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock for the final fight for the week, guys. We got to fight these jagabats. We got to fight them, guys. As you go, remember to social distance, wear your mask, sanitize. Don't be like the one from the GRO office, Raymond Cummins. You got to social distance, wear your mask, sanitize, and practice all the COVID-19 protocols that are in place for your health and your safety. We had another story to share with you guys about this young woman who was raped. That is the story I wanted to end with, but we're out of time. We're going to have it tomorrow evening because that is one of the stories that loading. Guys, stay safe. Stay safe. We're going to be right back here tomorrow again. The program lineup. We have Below the Belt, the podcast. We hit him below the belt during lunch, guys. Join the podcast at 12 o'clock tomorrow during your lunch break. And also be right back here. Final fight of the week. Stay safe tomorrow night in the ring.